So why bother with coaching when we've got books and podcasts and therapy even? Coaching even seems to have a higher price tag attached to it. So what makes it different? Love the question. The short answer, books, podcasts, and content are designed to educate and entertain. Therapy is designed to help you feel heard and give you a space for exercising your muscle and sharing. And coaching's for the discovery. What do you mean by that? Let me take you through an exercise that will demonstrate this and help you really get it. I'm game. Okay, imagine this circle represents all knowledge. Okay. Everything that could be known about everything by everyone. All the stuff. Okay, got it. Now, if that's the case, how much of this circle do you think you personally know? Oh man, like 1%? Even less? I would be willing to bet much less. In fact, we probably need a microscope to find out how much you actually know. But same would be for me and almost everybody else. Maybe Einstein would have a dot or something, but still with so much in the unknown. For sure. For the sake of the illustration, let's exaggerate and say this is what you know. Generous. So what would be in here? What do you already know? I know my name, I know how to speak English, I know how to drive a car. And what do you know about relationships or their challenges? I know a great relationship takes trust and honesty, commitment, love. I know I haven't had the kind of relationship that I really want. Anything else? I know I struggle with anxiety sometimes and can be insecure also. I know I want to work on my confidence. That's honest. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's create another section and call this what you don't know. So what are some examples of things you don't know? I don't know how to fly a plane. I don't know how to speak Mandarin. I don't really know why I keep ending up in these same patterns. And I honestly don't know what's getting in the way of having the relationship that I want, as much as I do want to blame the dating pool for this. I get that. And so now we have some examples of some things you know and some things you don't know. Now I'm going to suggest something radical to you here. Bring it on. Everything that you know and everything that you don't know is simply a result of what you already know. Did you catch that? Okay, I think I'm following. Because you know that you know your name. You know that you know how to drive a car, and you know that you know relationships take commitment, trust, and honesty. Yeah, okay. And you know that you don't know how to fly a plane. And you know that you don't know why you keep ending up in these same patterns. And you know that you don't know why the wonderful relationship that you want keeps evading you. Yep, that makes sense. So if all of this represents the known, what do you think represents the rest of the circle? This is what's outside my awareness? You could say that. What would you call it? I'm not sure. In coaching, we describe this part of the circle, what you don't know that you don't know. Oh, okay. What would be an example of something that you don't know that you don't know? I have no idea. Exactly. It's a trick question. You don't even know it, and you don't even know that you don't even know it. It's completely outside of your awareness. It would be like if a fish could talk, and you ask the fish, how's the water? They would say, what water? They don't even know that water's there because it's always been there. So there's no reference point to it. Okay, I kind of get the analogy. In coaching, we call these blind spots. And blind spots can only be discovered. That's why we can read books and listen to podcasts and remember a few things. But often, nothing is extraordinarily changed in our life just by getting that new information. We're probably more likely to just end up recommending that book to another person. Often after I read a great book or listen to an awesome podcast, I typically remember one or two key things, but can't say that any of them have really drastically changed my life. Can you only discover blind spots with a coach? No. You've probably already discovered blind spots in your life through travel, adventure, trying new things, but those blind spots are often discovered accidentally. Where coaching has the structure and formula to put you in position to discover your blind spots on demand. You can also use the analogy of riding a bike here. Who taught you how to ride a bike? My dad. And what did he say or do when he was teaching you? He said put your feet on the pedals and hands on the handlebars, and as you start moving, you'll be able to balance. Did you know what he meant? Not exactly. I mean, I didn't know how to balance on a bike, but I understood what he was saying. Exactly. Notice how talking about balance before you were learning how to ride a bike didn't actually teach you how to ride the bike. There was this key step involved of you actually getting on the bike and discovering balance for yourself. When you got on and started to pedal and didn't fall off, you got it. Suddenly this thing called balancing on a bike was there and you couldn't unlearn it. Hence the saying, it's like riding a bike. And that's what coaching's like? Exactly. We put you in a position to discover your blind spots that make lasting change in your life. Instead of what so many people are doing, which is looking for the perfect advice or the cookie cutter approach to use in all situations. Let me demonstrate why that doesn't work. Here's my advice to you. Stop being so insecure and anxious, and you'll have a great relationship. Thanks, as if I don't already know that. Right? You can see how foolish it is for me to tell you that because you already know that's what you want to do. You're just having trouble actually doing it. My coaching is designed to help you discover those new pathways with ease. I combine my life experience with the incredible exercises given to me by extraordinary coaches to create my Love Over Fear program. Amazing. And what has it done for you? So many things, but I'll leave you with this one personal share. Years ago, before being married to my now wife and having our amazing baby boy, I was engaged to somebody else. I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with this woman. But so much of our relationship was built on an insecure foundation. And the foundation of that was cracking all the time, which inevitably led to our breakup. So I'm going to share with you a key moment that was a blind spot for me at the time of our relationship that would often rear its ugly head time and time again, like so many of our own human patterns do, keeping us from the kind of love and connection that we want. I remember it was 3 months into our relationship. We lived a few hours away from each other, and I was driving to see her. I was so excited. Listening to my favorite playlist, I was anticipating the joy of arriving at her doorstep and seeing her open the door. Now, I drove there and I arrived, knocked on the door, 3 hard knocks, grinning with excitement. She opened the door and wasn't really present. She looked kind of frustrated, actually. She said to me, "Hey, good to see you. There's a lot going on right now. My dad is annoying me and there's a mess everywhere." Now, in the moment, I was instantly discouraged. Kind of like my heart sank because I was so excited for a kiss and a hug and so happy to see you. And that didn't happen. So I let go of that thought and I asked her, "What's going on? Are you okay?" She said, "Yeah, I'm super stressed and just a lot on my plate right now." I was like, "Okay, let me see what I can do to help." Fast forward to a couple hours later and we're washing up from dinner. And I brought up to her that really bothered me, that we didn't get a chance to connect. And she said, "Oh, that's no big deal." Now, in the moment, it was a big deal for me. But I was so nervous and scared that I'd be judged or rejected to continue sharing about that challenge for me that I just said, "Okay, yeah, no problem." When deep down, physical touch and intimacy in those moments means a lot to me. And for me in that relationship, that was the first moment I stepped over my own integrity. But I didn't know I was stepping over my own integrity. As far as I was concerned, I was just being accommodating. Well, of course, that kind of accommodating would show up many times more in our relationship. Whether it was something I was doing for her or just somehow being a team and wanting to get some credit or appreciation for it, when that didn't happen, I would lash out. I'd start arguments and I would blame her for how I was reacting. And so inevitably, this led to the destruction of our relationship. Now, at the time, I didn't think there was anything that I was doing to cause this problem. As far as I was concerned, this was her doing, and she was making things more and more difficult. What I didn't realize was I was just really, really scared to be rejected. I was scared to be judged, like so many of us are when having hard conversations. And so we hide behind being caring or accommodating, when the truth is it's really just insecurity. Now, I didn't see that at the time. It took a while and it took coaching for me to discover the patterns that I had in place, because it wasn't just that. There were these same kinds of patterns happening in previous relationships. And so once I was able to discover that my own integrity is going to make the biggest difference in the quality of my relationships, when I later met my now wife and we had our first moment where I knew I might say something that could trigger her or push her away, but it was really important to me, I said it anyways, because I had a flashback to being stuck in the same relationship I was before, feeling resentful. And so even though I was still scared, hence the name of the program, Choose Love Over Fear, I brought up the conversation with her, risking the relationship. And lo and behold, she stayed connected to me. In fact, we got even closer because of that vulnerability. Now that's the thing about love. There is no love without risk. And that is why I have this coaching program, to support people in all the ways that fear is getting in the way of being the kinds of people you want to be and having the kinds of love and connection that you really want to have. I've been getting coaching for the past 9 years and will continue to for the rest of my life, because the best part to me now is life occurs to me as this adventure to discover our blind spots. And every time I discover a blind spot around love or money or health or anything that matters to me, life gets so much better. It's like a new door appears that didn't exist before. that allows me to experience something that I've always wanted or maybe didn't even know that I always wanted. And so my goal with all my coaching is to support you with exactly that. I don't know what your blind spots are, but my job is to facilitate you discovering them. I hope you got some value from this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I can support you in Love Over Fear. Wow, thanks for sharing that. Let's discover.